And then based on it, we will see the concept of pseudo NMOS inverter. And then we will implement the two input NAND gate using pseudo NMOS inverter. Then next will be, the stronger pull up versus the stronger pull down. That analysis we will see. And then we'll lastly see the impact of sizing on the VTC curve. So this is the topics which I'm proposing to cover today. So let me directly start with implementation of a two input NAND gate. So if you have your books, please note it down. This is the pseudo NMOS logic implementation of a NAND gate.
So hello everyone. So today we are going to implement a simple example of a pseudo NMOS logic. So let us implement a NAND gate. So for NAND gate we have to write y is equal to a b the whole bar, a dot b the whole bar using pseudo NMOS logic. So the funda over here is, let me draw the general structure for a pseudo NMOS logic. So a pseudo NMOS logic will look something like this, the general structure. So as a pull-up network, you have just a PMOS transistor whose gate terminal is grounded, and this has been connected to VDD. And in the pull-down network, you have your general structure. Okay, your pull-down network, which will be consisting of your, this is I1, I2, number of inputs. Okay, and here we have the output. So your pull down network consists of your NMOS transistors. So this is the general structure of a pseudo NMOS logic.
Please note it down. Remember, this pull down network is similar to what we have studied before in case of a static CMOS logic. It's the same thing. Only that the pull up network is replaced by a single PMOS transistor with its gate terminal grounded. So kindly note this down. Okay, let us proceed.
Okay, so this is the general structure for pseudo NMOS logic. Okay, now let's use this concept and build a NAND gate. So if you want to implement y is equal to a dot b, we will always start with, first of all, we will design the pull down network. Okay, so we'll design the pull down network. So that is, we will implement it using the equation a dot b. So we'll design the pull down network with two NMOS transistors in series with the input A and B. And next, we build up on the pull up network. So your pull up network will consist of a single PMOS transistor with gate grounded. Okay, pull up network will consist of a single PMOS transistor with gate grounded. So let us try to implement this now. Okay, so let me take the color as let's say red. Okay, and first draw the pull up network. So this is my pull up network. Okay, the gate will be grounded. This indicates that the PMOS transistor is always in the on state. Okay, so this is your VDD, and let's now draw the pull down network. So pull down network is nothing but A dot B. So it will be your, let me use a color, let's say blue. So for the pull down network, we have A dot B, that is two transistors will be in series. So we will draw like this. So these are the two transistors in series, A and B, and here it is. And the output will take it from here. So this is my y is equal to A dot B the whole bar.
Please note it down. This is the pseudo NMOS logic. Using pseudo NMOS logic, we have implemented a two input NAND gate.
Okay, so this is the implementation of two input NAND gate using pseudo NMOS logic. Now what is the transistor count over here? We require So the transistor count over here is 3. Okay, we require 2 transistors for the pull down network and 1 transistor for the pull up network. So if you have a 2 input, how many transistors are required? If you have n inputs, how many transistors are required over here? N plus 1. Okay, for example, in this case, you have 2 inputs. So how many transistors you require? 3 transistors. Okay, so in general, for n inputs, in case of pseudo NMOS logic, you require n plus 1 transistors. Okay, as in this case, there were 2 inputs A and B, and we require a total of 3 transistors. Okay, so that's how we implement a NAND gate, a 2-input NAND gate using pseudo NMOS logic. So that's it for.
Okay, fine. Now let us see the 2-input NAND gate using pseudo NMOS logic simulation. Okay, so this is the circuit which I built. As you can see, the PMOS pull-up, its gate is grounded and the substrate terminal is connected to the VDD. And these are the 2 NMOS transistors whose body terminals individually are connected to the ground. You see the NMOS transistor with the input B has no body effect, but the NMOS transistor with the input A will have a body effect because its source and the body terminal are not at the same potential. Now, these are the parameters which are given. WL, VTO is given and the KP is given. So, and we have defined A and B, 2 non-overlapping inputs. So let me simulate this. This is a NAND gate, right? So let me quickly simulate this. So we have over here, let me plot 3 plane plots, 2 for the input and 1 for the output. So in the first plane, I will plot VA, that is input A. Next plot, I will plot VB, and the last we will plot V out. Okay. Now you can see these are 2 non-overlapping clocks, and see very carefully over here. The output will be 0 only when both the inputs are high. So you see over here, the VA is logic 1, VB is logic 1, and your output is logic 0. Okay, and whenever you see this 1 and 1, whenever both the inputs are high, only then the output is low. And that is the classic definition of a NAND gate. You can see it very clearly. Fine. So let us proceed further. And one more thing, if you can check the output is at pi, full swing. But in the pseudo NMOS logic, the logic 0 is not 0. Okay, it is, as you can see over here, this is a non-zero logic 0. Okay, you have a slight voltage at the logic 0. It's not exactly equal to 0. So here we have 171 millivolts, and this we cannot ignore it. This is, but that means VOL for this circuit is not 0. Okay, so kindly take a note of this. So logic 1 you will get it perfectly, but logic 0 you will get a little bit beyond the value of 0. Okay, now let us go to the next video. Let me finish off the design and then we will move on to the actually what is going on inside the pseudo NMOS logic and what are the principles behind it. So I am playing the second video. This is the Boolean expression implementation for the pseudo NMOS logic. Okay, so kindly keep your books ready and draw it along with the explanation. Okay, it's taking some 1 or 2 seconds and then we will begin. It will start. Yeah, here it is. So be ready with your books and do the design.
Okay, so hello everyone. Last time we have implemented a 2-input NAND gate using pseudo NMOS logic. Today we are going to implement a Boolean expression using the same. Okay, so let me write over here. Let's implement a Boolean expression which is equal to y is equal to a dot b plus c the whole bar using pseudo NMOS logic. So we already know the general structure for a pseudo NMOS logic. As a pull-up network, we have a PMOS transistor with its gate as grounded. That will make sure that the PMOS transistor is always on. And the pull-down network is similar to your CMOS static CMOS logic, okay, which is consisting of your NMOS transistors. So now let's start building up. Fine. So what is the first statement we will write? So the first we will write, you design your pull down network. So design your pull down network with the equation. What will be the equation? It will be similar to what we have studied in the static CMOS. It will be A dot B plus C. Okay. So that is what we have to design the pull down network, which consists of only NMOS transistors. So this is my pull-up network, which will consist of only NMOS transistors.
Sorry, it's a pull down network.
So there will be two NMOS transistors with the input B and C, which will be in parallel, and this combination will be in series with the NMOS transistor with the input A. Okay, and then next we build up the pull-up network. So for the pull-up network, what we have over here, let me just write, we have a single PMOS transistor with its gate as grounded. Okay, so that's what we have. So we have all the things over here, pulled up and pull down network. Let us start. So let us start with the pull-up network. So for the pull-up network, we have one PMOS transistor whose gate is grounded. And for the pull-down network, we have this two transistors which are in parallel. So let me draw first. Let me draw A, input PMOS, NMOS transistor with input A. And then we have in parallel. Okay, so we have B, and here you have C, which are in parallel with each other. So this is my B, NMOS transistor with input C. So this is my pull down network, which is shown in the blue color, and upper one is my pull up network, which consists of only the PMOS transistor. Let me join them together. Okay, so I have to connect the pull up to the VDD. So here it is, VDD. Pull down and pull up network are connected to the output. So here it is Y, which is nothing but A dot B plus C, the whole bar, and the pull down network bottom one will go to the ground. Okay, so this is a simple implementation of a Boolean expression using pseudo NMOS logic. Now what will be the transistor count over here? So here the transistor count will be, how many transistors are required over here for implementing this Boolean expression? 4. Now, here we require 3 inputs. Okay, so for 3 inputs we require 4 transistors. So for n inputs we require n plus 1 transistor. Okay, so for 3 inputs we require 4 transistors for implementing the Boolean expression using pseudo NMOS logic.
Okay, that will be it for the video part. Now let me begin with the actual topic. Okay, so before moving now, we have seen 2 examples of a pseudo NMOS logic. Okay, so this pseudo NMOS logic comes under a bigger category, which is called as ratioed logic. Fine. Now this is the general diagram. I hope that the screen is visible. So this is the general diagram of a ratioed logic. So what is the ratioed logic? We have seen one particular case where we had a PMOS as a load. Okay, so we can have a load which is always on, and the pull down network will be similar to what we have studied in the static CMOS logic with the input I1, I2, and IN. Okay, where the output will be the function of the input. So whenever the load can be a resistive load or a PMOS load, this type of logic is called as ratioed logic. So you will say, what is unratioed logic? Have we studied it? Yes. So this CMOS inverter which you have studied is unratioed logic. So what do you mean by it? Ratioed and unratioed. So that means here the W by L ratio does not influence the functionality of the circuit, for an unratioed logic. So in a CMOS inverter, whatever be your pull-up size or the pull-down size, output of the CMOS inverter is either latched to VDD or ground. So you might have seen and experienced that even if we change the W by L ratio, still the output is either latched to VDD or it is latched to 0. So this is the funda of your unratioed logic. So unratioed logic like CMOS inverter is independent of W by L ratio of the transistors which are used inside. Okay, so this is what is unratioed logic. Now, to the contrary, ratioed logics are dependent upon the sizing of the transistor. First of all, the very first feature is they are used to reduce the transistor count. Okay, so if you use the same logic to build using static CMOS, you will require one additional transistor. But here we are reducing one additional transistor because always, I mean, not one additional transistor. It depends upon the complexity of the circuit. So basically, the pull-up network will only consist of a single device or a load, which is a resistive load or a PMOS load. Okay, so it will reduce the transistor count, but at the cost of extra power dissipation. Now, since I told the load will always be on, let's suppose it's a resistor. Now, irrespective of the working of the circuit, whenever this pull down network or whenever your VDD supply is on, your current will start flowing through the load, and that will constantly consume some power. Okay, so you have this extra power dissipation in this ratioed logic, and here the entire pull-up network is replaced by a single unconditional load. Okay, here VOH, high output voltage VOH is VDD, and your low output voltage VOL is not zero. And we have seen this feature, the VOL, the logic level low output is not zero, which results, this is the reason it results the static power dissipation. Okay, and since VOH, that is the output high level, is VDD, and VOL is not equal to zero, it will result in reduced noise margin levels. Okay, so a simple example of a ratioed logic is the pseudo NMOS inverter. Now you might see a CMOS inverter, this is pseudo NMOS inverter. So pseudo NMOS inverter will be, if you apply A to the NMOS pull down, you will get at the output A bar. So this is a simple inverter. And here we have the PMOS transistor, which is gate terminal grounded, and here the PMOS is always on. Okay, if you apply a logic 0 to the PMOS, it will be always on. That you have to remember. Okay, so the ratioed logic, the output voltage depends upon the sizes of the transistor. Okay, the W by L ratio is also called as the aspect ratio. So the aspect ratio, either the pull up or the pull down, will affect the functionality. Now I will not repeat this statement one more time. I will show it to you in the LP spice. How does it affect? So it is dependent upon W by L ratios and so on. So over here, if you see Kn, now you know what is Kn and Kp, right? So Kn is mu n C of W by L of n, and Kp is mu p C of W by L of P. So if you have an arrangement of a pseudo NMOS inverter, you should always keep a NMOS stronger than a PMOS. Okay, we will see if we don't do this, what will happen. So that means Kn has to be greater than Kp. So that means the W by L ratios, since mu1 and Cox being a constant, your Kn and Kp is heavily dependent upon the aspect ratios or the W by L ratios of the individual transistor. Okay, so we have to keep Kn greater than Kp. That means we have to make NMOS stronger than PMOS. Okay, we will see that how it will happen. Fine, and this we have seen before. This is the general structure for the pseudo NMOS logic. I will not repeat it again. You have a PMOS transistor which is gate grounded. Okay, that will always, this PMOS transistor will always be on. Okay, it cannot be turned off unless you have your pull down network very stronger compared to pull up network, and it is pulling the network, pulling the output node down. That's why I said pull down network has to be stronger. Now, listen very, very carefully. Now, this is the realization of two input NAND gates. Now, you will say this we have studied already. Yeah, you have studied this, and I mean, you have drawn also this. So let us consider some cases in this. So we are designing a pull-down network for A dot B. So this is the circuit implementation, and we have seen this. So what is the job of the pull-down network is? The job of the pull-down network, which consists of NMOS transistors, is to connect, logic zero, that is ground, and output. Its only job is to connect the ground and the output whenever it is on. And the pull-up network will consist of a single PMOS transistor which is gate grounded. And here we are considering a stronger pull-up, a stronger pull-down, and a weaker pull-up. Okay. So over here, we will consider the various cases. So this is my circuit. This is my pull-up network, the blue color, marked in blue color box, and the red color box is my pull-down network. And this is my table. Find AB and Y is equal to A dot B bar. So the output will be low whenever A and B both are 1 and 1. So let us consider the various cases. So here A and B both are 1. That means both the NMOS transistors are on. They are in series. So your output will be pulled towards ground, strongly towards the ground, because your NMOS transistors are much stronger, okay, compared to your PMOS. Fine, we have kept Kn greater than Kp. So for logic inputs 1 and 1, you get output as logic 0, just pulling the output node towards ground. Now, whenever for the second case, let's consider the second case as A is 1 and B is 0. So if A is 1 and B is 0, logic 0 applied to NMOS means it will be open circuit. It will be off and it will behave as open circuit. That means no way my output will be going to the ground. And automatically, I mean, then even so my NMOS is stronger than PMOS, if it is off, it doesn't mean anything. If any, because these two transistors are in series, if any one of the transistors are off, the pull-up network will do its job of pulling the output voltage towards VDD. Okay. Same thing will happen in case of when the input is 0 and 1. Here the NMOS transistor with the input A will be off. So the output voltage will be pulled up towards VDD by this PMOS transistor. And whenever both the inputs are 0, 0, that's to no question at all. Your output will be pulled up towards VDD via the the PMOS pull-up network. And the number of transistors required over here are 3. So let's say if you have two inputs, so the transistor required will be n plus 1, that will be 3. This I've already covered this point. Okay. And now let us discuss the point on the stronger pull-up versus the stronger pull-down. Okay. So we have seen the first three cases. When either A and B is 0, 0 or 0, 1 or 1, 0, your output Y is latched to VDD. Okay. Output Y may VDD ko, it is latching itself to VDD value and is staying there unless the input changes. Okay. So these three cases, when AB is 1, 0, output is latching towards VDD, 0, 1 or 0, 0. So these are the three cases where the output is latching towards VDD. Now consider this case when A and B are 1 and 1. Okay. So whenever A and B are 1 and 1, the output can go to VDD, also it can go to ground. So if my NMOS is, there is a tug of war between the PMOS pull-up, it is pulling the output node towards VDD. And this pull-down network is pulling the output nodes towards the ground. So who wins the fight? Whoever is stronger. Okay. So here I've written in the words. So when A and B is 1 and 1, there is a relative fight between the pull-up and the pull-down network. Now, if the pull-down network is stronger, that means if the NMOS transistors are stronger, it will pull the output nodes towards the ground. And whenever the pull-up network is stronger, that means it will latch the output towards the VDD. So that means in this, if the pull-up is stronger, it will pull the output voltage towards VDD irrespective of A and B being 1. And if A and B are 1, and if the NMOS transistor, if the pull-down network is stronger, irrespective of whether PMOS transistor is on, it will pull the output voltage towards the ground. Okay, so that is what is the meaning of the statement stronger pull-up versus stronger pull-down. I hope that this point is clear. And you always make the pull-down network stronger than the pull-up network by making W by L of NMOS transistor greater than the PMOS transistor. Okay. Ideally, the output low level should be close to 0. But in case of pseudo NMOS logic, VOL is not 0, and we have seen that. This is because there is a relative fighting between the pull-up and the pull-down network, and the output doesn't reach a zero. So since VOL is non-zero, the static power dissipation also exists. Fine. So you want to see the example of a fight between a pull-up and a pull-down network? I'll show it to you. Okay. Yeah, this is the file. This is the file. So in the first output V out, I have made the stronger pull down network, and in the second case, V out 1, I have made the stronger pull up network. Okay, so let me simulate this. I repeat again. Here we have a stronger NMOS, that is pull down network is stronger, and here we have a stronger PMOS. In the second case, V out 1. So remember it. So now if I take the input and output together, so let me plot it quickly. So for the first case, I will plot VA. Let me plot VB first. VB, A, input A. And here is, I mean, everything is fine with this V out. This is, we have seen, this is stronger and pull down network. So everything is fine. No problem at all. But if I add, I mean, if I plot V out 1, see what will happen. So this blue color line, if you want to plot it separately, let me do that. So this is my V out and this is my V out 1. If you see the voltage levels over here of V out 1, it's 5 volts. It's 5 volts and the lower one is 4.4. You see, it's pulling up only. It's not going down at all. It's just not going to zero voltage at all. So this V out of 1 is the result of a stronger pull-up network. If you have a too strong pull-up network, it will not allow only the output voltage to go towards ground. Okay, and here it is the proof. And if you have a stronger pull-down network, the output will go towards near the ground, near the logic zero. So here it is 171 millivolt. As I told you, VOL is non-zero. It is not equal to zero. But still, so the green color curve is the proper function with the stronger NMOS network, and this cyan color curve, this V out of 1 is my output when the stronger PMOS is there, or this way, when we have a stronger PMOS. Okay, so that is the example of comparison of a stronger pull-up and a stronger pull-down network. I hope that this is clear to you. And you can see how the output is getting affected just by changing W by L ratios, right? So that's why this is the ratioed logic. Now let me go back to the PDF. Yeah, we will see this a little bit in detail now. So impact of sizing W by L ratios on the PMOS transistor on the VTC curve of a pseudo NMOS inverter. So when we make a pseudo NMOS inverter with W by L ratio, this is W by L. Sorry, by mistake it is written N. W by L ratio of NMOS transistor is 1, and of PMOS transistor we are keeping on changing. We are making it 4, 2, half, and quarter, and we are plotting the VTC curve. Okay, so this is the VTC curve as a function of pseudo NMOS inverter. So what is happening over here? Whenever this curve is moving towards the right hand side, that means whenever we are making a pull-up network stronger, what is happening? What is going to happen? What can you see over here? The red color curve. It will be latching towards the VDD for a longer period of time, and your VOL will go on increasing. Okay, and if you go towards, if you make your pull down network stronger, you go over here towards the left hand side. So what will happen? The VOL will become smaller and smaller, but output will be latched towards the VDD for a shorter period of time. I mean, depending upon the input. So let's see this in the LT spice. So impact of sizing on the pseudo NMOS inverter. So I've already made the circuits ready. So we have W by L of PMOS as 4, 2, half, and quarter, and 1/4. So let us see this. This is the stronger pull. The red one is for strongest pull up, and this last cyan type is my stronger pull down, as you can see very carefully. So for the red color curve, where the stronger pull up network is there, the VOL is having a non-zero value, as you can see, 0.779, and then This completely resembles with what we are discussing over here. This is the same diagram. If you see carefully, this is the same diagram. If you want to change the color of the last one and make it as, let's say, this one. Now, even the colors are matching. Okay, this is what we were talking about. Fine. This is the impact of the W bar ratio. That's why this is the ratioed logic. Just by changing the W bar ratios, by making the PMOS or the PULMOS or the PMOS or the NMOS network stronger, we can have this impact on the VTC curve. Okay. So I hope that this is clear. Now let's go to any questions anyone have, or if you have understood, please give a thumbs up so that I can understand your understanding and I can proceed. Any doubts so far? So give me an indication by, okay. Okay, fine. I hope that this is clear. You can raise your hand if everything is okay now.
So few people have raised hands.
Okay, that means it's okay.
ये
Fine.
देखो. Yeah.
So we'll proceed forward. We have to complete this today, and let me move on to the second PDF. So this is just for, I mean, we have already completed the second Boolean expression, y is equal to a dot b plus c the whole bar. So what if you get y is equal to a dot b plus c? Only that much. So what you do, build a circuit and connect the inverter at the output. That's how you make it. And here you can take it as a homework. Realize the 3-input NOR gate using pseudo NMOS logic. So this you can do it on your own. Okay. Y is equal, I mean, f is equal to a plus b plus c the whole bar. So this also you can easily implement. Now let me summarize this pseudo NMOS logic topic. So the merit is it requires a reduced transistor count. It requires for n inputs n plus 1 transistor. It can implement any complex Boolean expression and it will find its use in the large fan-in circuit. Demerits are the rail to rail swing is not possible because VOL is non-zero. Because VOL is non-zero, there is static power dissipation and we have reduced noise margin level. And this type of circuits are not capable to drive the next stage properly if connected in cascade. If you keep on connecting it in cascade one after the other, VOL will be smaller and smaller. So it might happen that it cannot drive the next stage. Okay, so that is why it is not capable of driving the next stage. And the properties are the VTC, the voltage transfer characteristics, is dependent upon the value of the input voltages and the W by ratios of the transistor. Then the propagation delay high to low is also input data dependent. Here the stronger pull-up means the output is strongly connected to VDD for a longer period of time and the noise margin will be high. That means logic 1 will be read easily as logic 1. Stronger pull-down means the output is strongly connected to ground for a longer period of time and your noise margin low will be a little low. That means 0 will be read easily as logic 0. So these are the various properties and the summary of your pseudo NMOS logic. Okay. Now let me move on to the very interesting topic. This, this is the realization of a compact XNOR gate using pseudo NMOS logic. Just draw this diagram and keep it. I will give you around 15 seconds to draw this diagram and think about it. Draw the truth table and keep it ready. So earlier, if you remember, using static CMOS logic, we have implemented XNOR gate. You remember how many transistors we have utilized. This circuit uses only 3 transistors for 2 inputs. So it's a compact XNOR gate implementation using pseudo NMOS logic. Quickly draw this circuit in your book. And here we assume that the pull-down network is stronger than the pull-up network. That is the assumption we make. And the VDD is 5 volt. So here is my VA, VB, and Vout. I have written the table in the form of a voltages. And it is the XNOR. So whenever the inputs are same, output will be high. So shall we begin? I hope that you all have Y'all have noted it down. Okay. So the entire functioning of this circuit is based on the fact that the input voltage VA and VB establish, the gate to source voltage as follows. What I mean to say is something like this. Let me expand it. So what I'm doing is I'm drawing the one section of the circuit over here. Okay, I hope that you all have noted this circuit down. I'm drawing one section of the circuit like this. So what is VGS1 over here? VGS1 will be VB minus VA. Okay, from the circuit diagram also you can see VGS1 will be, here it is VB minus VA. Okay, see where the positive sign is, VB side. So VB minus VA is VGS1 for MN1. Okay, transistor with the name MN1. And over here we have another VGS2 for the NMOS transistor 2, MN2. We have VGS2 which is given by VA minus VB. Is this point clear? Let me expand it and show it to you now. So this is what we have done. So agree that VGS1 and VGS2 are VB minus VA and VA minus VB respectively. Okay. Now, whenever both the inputs VA and VB are same. Now, same means what? Either it will be logic 0 or logic 1. Then, both the NMOS transistors are off. Now, how you will say they are off? Because here, VGS is 0. And you remember number one rule for NMOS transistor to be off? Number one rule of NMOS transistor to be off is if VGS is less than VT. Okay, and for NMOS transistor to turn on, VGS should be greater than VT. But here what is happening? VGS1 and VGS2 are 0. And why they are 0? Because VA and VB are same. I mean, if it is 0, 0 or logic 1, it doesn't matter. They are same. So VGS1 and VGS2 are same, are 0. So that means what? In this circuit, both my pull down network is off. So what will happen to the output? Output will be pulled up towards VDD, as simple as it is. So here the first point and the last point is very, very clear. When the inputs are 0, 0, either they are 5 and 5, the output will be 5 volts only. Okay, now let us consider the case when inputs are not same. So let us see what will happen. So this is the scenario over here for the inputs to be same. Output is equal to VDD when VA is equal to VB. That means both my NMOS transistors in the pull down network are off. Okay, so now let us see the next case. So for the next case, let me expand it a little. Let me make it around 40%. Okay, so if VA is high, listen very, very carefully. If VA is high, which NMOS transistor will be on? Remember, the pull down network is stronger. So even if one NMOS transistor is on, it is capable of pulling the output node towards the ground. Even if PMOS is on. PMOS is on only, no? It's a weaker PMOS on. It's not stronger. Okay, PMOS network job is to pull the output towards VDD if it is stronger, but this one is weak one. So over here, if VA is high and VB is low, so VB is ground, VB is 0, let's say. So this 0 is going towards the NMOS transistor MN1. So MN1 will be off. Whereas if you apply 5 volts over here, the MN2 transistor, which is the NMOS transistor, will be on because you have applied 5 volts at the gate. Okay, so if you apply 5 volts at the gate, definitely this transistor will be on. So the output will be pulled down towards VDD via this part. You can see this yellow color curve. So the output is going towards the ground via this part when VA is high and VB is low. So the output is 0. Whenever VB is high, so now VB is high, what it will do? VB is high means it will make the transistor, NMOS transistor with the name MN1 high. That will MN1 on. So MN1 will conduct and the output will be pulled down towards ground like this. So that is what is being explained in the table. So whenever your A and B are not equal, that is either one of them is on or other one is off, my output is 0. Okay, any doubts over here? Let me quickly show the implementation of this. Let me quickly show that, and because that is the last topic. Compact, XNOR, and MOS. Okay, so this is the same thing. Okay, so here we have connected A to the M1 transistor and B to the M2 transistor. It's the same circuit which we are discussing about. And we have to verify the functionality. And I have made over here, you can see carefully, NMOS ka KP is much higher as compared to KP of your CMOS transistor. Okay, that means I have a stronger pull down network. Now let me simulate this quickly. So I should have a XNOR. Okay, so I'll add the plane and I will plot VA, then VB, and then Vout. Let me just separate it out. So this is my VA, VB, and Vout. And if you see over here, the V out, whenever it is low, it is not zero. Obviously, VOL is not zero. But when it is high, it is pulling the output towards VDD. So let's see the functionality. So how does the XNOR gate work? Whenever, when will it be high? Whenever both the inputs are same. So your first case, it is 0, 0, so it is high. Here it is 1 and 1, it is high, logic 1. Again, here it is 1 and 1, it is high. And whenever it is inputs are, not equal, here it is 0 and 1, it is low. Here it is again 1 and 0, it is low. So you can see this compact XNOR design with only three transistors will give the functionality of the XNOR gate using almost like a pseudo NMOS logic. Okay, so that is all what I have to offer for today. Let me quickly, show you something. Let me stop the